this week's 2023 draft prospect profile. We're going with, I don't even know if I'm going to say the first name correctly, Dalibor Dvorsky. Is that right? Did I nail that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they say it differently, but that's how everyone
over there. It's probably like Derek.
Rick. I was gonna say Rick, like Dave.
I'm gonna call him that from now on, Rick Dvorsky.
Yeah, that's him. That's the same guy. Same guy. Native tongue.
Go off.
Yeah. So he has had just a really weird year. So, if you're unfamiliar with Dvorsky, this is a guy last year at this time was touted top 5 in this draft. I think there are still people who will have him top 10, but this season just hasn't gone well for him. But just the overall profile, I think he's 6'1", right around 190, 200 pounds, center, can play wing. He's got a ton of skill. He's probably, I'd give him average skating. But he's got a weapon of a shot when he chooses to use it and when he chooses to use it at the right time. It's just been a weird year. I think a part of it too, he was also in the HockeyAllsvenskan. That team stinks and they do not play fun hockey. But he kind of just ended up turning into this more of like a grinding forward, third, fourth line. But again, he's a pivot. He can play center. He can play wing. It's just, it was a real inconsistent year. There were a lot of games where he was being stubborn and just kind of trying to create his own, create offense just for himself. Then there's games where he's looking like a ridiculous playmaker. But this time last year, he was right up there with Fantilli in terms of young guys. He's playing in the J20 in Sweden, lighting it up, point per game as a underager, which is insane. And again, it's just the combination, the size, the skill, the offense, and the fact that he's a center that can play wing, and defensively, he's got all the tools in the world to be an impact two-way center. It's just, again, he's like this year specifically inconsistent. And there's like a lot of off games. So he really kind of fell down the rankings, but I think the U18 Worlds tends to be the tournament that really can boost your stock in the draft. And right now he's on with Slovakia, just like a very much like not the same pedigree as that World Juniors team that was really exciting to watch with all those prospects. They just don't have a lot of those guys. And he's kind of just put this team on his back, like by himself. And I think at one point they had like him either the primary assist or scoring like 11 goals in a row for them. So if he's not going, they're not going at all. But he's been playmaking. He's using the shot. He's defending. He hits everything that fucking moves. So he's a great prospect. It's just, again, this year it's just been so up and down, but he has been fantastic for them. He's fourth right now in scoring for the tournament, right behind the 3 fucking guys for USA, Smith, Perreault, and Leonard. They are ripping apart everybody, and Team USA is killing everybody. But he's right behind them. The only guy on their team really, and he kind of just like single-handedly brought them to the semifinal versus the USA, which I think is either tomorrow or the day after. But that'll be interesting. But he's a great player. So it's interesting. Again, like he was a for sure top 5 guy like this time last year, at least top like 8. And I think you'll find a lot of people now who have him, 15, 20, 23, 24. I don't think he'll end up falling that far. I think teams will see his size, the fact that he's center, he's a wing. He's got two-way capabilities, at least like potential to be a very good two-way forward. It's just, again, this year has just been really kind of discouraging, but this tournament might actually really just like boost his stock again, just because he is doing quite literally everything himself for that team. And this is the tournament, like I said, it's the fact that it's the last one before the draft. I think it's really boosted his stock again, but he's a hell of a player. So it'll be fascinating to see, because he's definitely risky if you take him too high. Like he is. Like It's just, there's a real possibility where he just kind of ends up being like a middle to bottom 6 grinder. But then you see the flashes where it's like, oh no, he can be top 6 center wing, two-way capabilities. Like So it's just finding the, I mean, it's like any prospect really the first round. It's just like, where is your comfort zone there? Like where you can take that guy with such a fucking wide range of possible outcomes. But again, phenomenal tournament so far. And we'll see if they can pull something off here against USA. It's not going to happen. Again, they are ripping everybody apart. It's insane. And we can talk about that too, but yeah, no, hell of a tournament and hell of a player in Dvorsky. I love the kid. So we'll see.
But you talked though back during World Juniors, right, about how like you get pissed when people put too much stock in that. Like, right or wrong, you said it. People are gonna boost his stock a little bit from this tournament. Should they? Like, do you think that it's any different really, or is it just, hey, this is the most recent thing before the draft?
Yeah, no, this is a different. So this has legitimate. Like I put this is if any of the tournaments throughout the year, the international tournaments for these kids, like this is probably. I mean, I also put the most stock in this one, and like I'm not gonna. It's not gonna change a kid by like 10 spots, but like there's legit because again it's U18, so all these kids like none of them are 19, 20. That's the other thing with the World Juniors too is the fact that it's U20. You've got guys that are drafted who have played NHL games, so it's really up and down all over the place. And also in that tournament, there are some horrendous hockey teams. Like there's like 12-0 games, so it is just the fact that it's just a little bit of a different field with talent level and the fact that there's just a wide range and like the age gap between some of these players. The U18s is like, how are you stacking up against the guys who you are going to be in the draft with? And it's just the only thing that sucks is like the timing eliminates some guys from play. Like you have guys playing in the WHL. Like Vidar didn't go because he was in the playoffs at one point. So he didn't go.
Right.
And again, it sucks that fucking Russia isn't there because Mitchkov would be eviscerating everybody in this tournament. But yeah, no, I think the U18s, again, it holds weight because it is guys that are either getting drafted 2023 or there's a couple 2024 guys. Which, by the way, there is like the guy on Canada who is vying for like the number 1 overall in 2024, Macklin Celebrity. Holy shit. He is lighting it up in this tournament in 2024 guy. He scored, this slap shot he scored on today must have been like fucking 100 miles an hour. Like it was an absolute rocket. I think he's 6th in scoring right now in this tournament too. And he's, again, 2024 prospect. So he's a beast. He's incredible.
Fun. Okay. So then with Dvorsky, today, April 27th, 2023, give me the range of outcomes. What is the earliest you can see him drafted, and what is the latest you can see him drafted? Obviously, team draft position aside.
Yeah, I could see a team taking him at like 8, 9, 10. I can also see teams really being discouraged by the year and the fact that the skating's not great and it's really not a sure thing whether he's a center or not in the NHL level. And again, he's got the tools to develop into a really good, effective two-way because he works his fucking bag off most games, like almost every. Like he is grinding. So like, sure, teams will love that with the size and the physicality because again, he hits everything that moves. So teams are gonna love that. But like the combination of you're just kind of unsure with what he is at the NHL level, and the fact that skating's not like elite by any means, and some of the decision making is just not good. I could see teams being scared of that too, just looking for more of that sure thing.
Okay. So ceiling is like late single digits. Floor is, does that mean he could go outside the first round? Does that mean
no, he won't
beyond 20? Like what's the worst case?
I can't see a world where he doesn't go later than like 22.
Okay.
That would be shocking. Like shocking.
Like, all right, so we just need the Wild to finish at 22 and there's a chance.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, again, hell of a player. When he's going, and right now he is going, like he is fucking unbelievable. Like, yeah, this kid was like a point per game in the J20 as like a 16, 17-year-old. Like he's incredible. Or a 16-year-old, sorry. He's just a great player. Just again, like I think the environment really sucked for him at AIK this year. The team is legitimately brutal to watch in the Allsvenskan. And that's a hard fucking league to play in as a young player. Sure. The Allsvenskan, because it's just like, again, it's not the SHL guys that you're playing with. it is a grinding fucking league. And again, you saw what happened like the beginning of the year when Ogren wasn't necessarily healthy.